Senator. Joe Biden served as a U.S. Senator representing the state of Delaware from 1973 to 2009. During his 36-year Senate career, Biden established himself as a leading voice on foreign policy and national security issues. Biden was a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee for much of his Senate career, and he was a strong advocate for U.S. engagement in international affairs. He was a key architect of the 1990s foreign policy consensus that called for a more assertive U.S. role in the world, and he was a vocal supporter of the U.S. military interventions in Iraq and Kosovo in the 1990s. Biden was also a leading voice on issues related to the fight against terrorism, and he was an early advocate for U.S. military action against al-Qaeda in the wake of the September 11 attacks. Biden was also known for his work on domestic issues, particularly his advocacy for the middle class and his efforts to reduce crime. He was a strong supporter of the 1994 Crime Bill, which provided funding for state and local law enforcement and expanded the use of mandatory minimum sentences for certain crimes. Biden was also a vocal advocate for the rights of women and minorities, and he was a leading supporter of the Violence Against Women Act and the Americans with Disabilities Act. Throughout his Senate career, Biden was known for his distinctive speaking style and his folksy approach to politics. He was often seen as a passionate and charismatic figure, and he used his reputation as a regular guy to connect with ordinary Americans. Biden's reputation as a skilled politician and experienced public servant helped to boost his popularity, and he remains a well-respected figure in American politics. In conclusion, Joe Biden's time as a U.S. Senator was marked by his efforts to address major foreign policy and domestic issues. He established himself as a leading voice on national security and foreign policy, and he was a strong advocate for the middle class, women, and minorities. Biden's distinctive speaking style and folksy approach to politics made him a popular figure among many Americans, and he remains a well-respected figure in American politics today. Vice President. Joe Biden served as the Vice President of the United States under President Barack Obama from 2009 to 2017. Biden's time as Vice President was marked by his involvement in several major domestic and foreign policy initiatives. Domestically, Biden was known for his work on issues related to gun control, cancer research, and middle-class economic prosperity. He led the Obama administration's efforts to pass the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009, a multi-billion-dollar stimulus package aimed at jump-starting the economy during the Great Recession. Biden also worked to pass the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, which aimed to increase access to healthcare for millions of Americans. Biden played a key role in the Obama administration's foreign policy initiatives, particularly in the Middle East. He was instrumental in the U.S. response to the Arab Spring, working to support pro-democracy movements in countries such as Egypt, Tunisia, and Libya. Biden was also involved in the U.S. response to the conflict in Ukraine, working to support the Ukrainian government and to impose economic sanctions on Russia. Biden's time as vice president was also marked by his frequent use of foreign trips to build relationships with leaders around the world. He made multiple trips to Iraq and Afghanistan, working to support U.S. troops and to advance U.S. foreign policy objectives in the region. Biden also made trips to China, India, and other countries, working to build relationships and to promote U.S. interests abroad. Throughout his time as vice president, Biden was known for his distinctive speaking style and his folksy approach to politics. He was often seen as a down-to-earth contrast to the more reserved and cerebral President Obama, and he used his reputation as a regular guy to connect with ordinary Americans. Biden's reputation as a skilled politician and experienced public servant helped to boost his popularity, and he remains a well-respected figure in American politics. In conclusion, Joe Biden's time as vice president was marked by his efforts to address major domestic and foreign policy issues. He played a key role in several of the Obama administration's key initiatives, including the stimulus package and the Affordable Care Act, and he worked to advance U.S. interests abroad through his frequent foreign trips. Biden's distinctive speaking style and folksy approach to politics made him a popular figure among many Americans, and he remains a well-respected figure in American politics today.